everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a good day. I just want to say sorry, first of all, for missing a video posting on Saturday. I didn't put anything up. I was at work all day and it's been a really busy weekend, and at the end of this week we're actually moving, so I've been starting to get everything packed up and just kind of a bit distracted with that. And then on the day we move, I have an assignment deadline and stuff like that. So it's been a bit hectic, but I'm pre-filming a few videos now that are still in the old house. I've moved my background around just because I'm packing and stuff's everywhere. So I'm still in the spare room at the old house, but by the time you see this, I will probably be in the new house or be moving to the new house. And then after we get our Wi-Fi in the new house, because that's not coming until like 3 or 4 days after we move in, because the internet is stupid and just, yeah, apparently they couldn't get it to us any sooner. So I'm gonna be like 4 days without Wi-Fi on my own, and it's gonna be really sad. But we'll get through it. I'm gonna upload stuff beforehand and then just post it on the applicable days. So hopefully we won't miss another day in between. But if I do, very, very sorry in advance. It's just a bit hectic today. After that ridiculously rambly intro, which I feel like I'm out of breath and need to take a sip of coffee. I'm just gonna film like a quick it's not a totally first impressions because I have played around with this palette a bit before, but first impressions on my channel, and I've only worn like one actual look with it outside of just playing around with it like outside the house. And this is the VioletVoss and NicolConcilio collaboration. It has this beautiful holographic packaging and Nicole's pretty face on the back. And I picked this up from Cult Beauty because they actually had a sale on a lot of different palettes, like eyeshadow palettes and face palettes and stuff. So this was almost £10 off. I forget exactly what percentage the sale was, but it came down to around £10 cheaper than it normally was, and you just don't see sales on makeup very often. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna just get that because I've been looking at it for ages and going back and forth on whether or not I wanted it, and I decided to just go for it. So it comes with the box and then the actual palette, and it's got her cute logo on the back. I love the design of this, like the polka dots and the holographic. I've been like ridiculously into hollow stuff lately. I don't know why, but I have just fallen in love. So we're gonna play around with this today. I'm gonna attempt to do some fun eyeshadow. So if you haven't seen the palette, this is what it looks like. It's got a lot of nice warm matte colors at the top, and then like a whole row of really fun shimmery colors, plus like that bright blue just stands out a load because it's really pretty. I'm excited to keep playing around with this, and I am really glad I got it. It also comes with like a massive mirror, and everything inside is like holographic as well. So it's just really pretty. So we're gonna be playing around with that. Before we jump into the eyes, I've done my base makeup because my acne is still awful and I didn't want to make you guys look at that for a whole video. So foundation and concealer and powder are on. I'm going to do my brows real quick with the Benefit Browsings powder. This one is in shade number 3. And what I do is just find an angled brush, which has got to be one in here somewhere. There we go. So this one's just a Real Techniques brush. I sometimes use the one that's in the powder palette thing, but I haven't cleaned it in ages, so I'm not going to today. So taking an angled brush, I just go into the powder side and start filling in from the front. And I really don't do anything super fancy with this. It's just, I've got some tricky spots in my arch and towards the end of my brow that haven't totally recovered from the bad brow wax that I got almost a couple months ago now. But there's still just a couple of bald patches. So that's mainly why I go in with this powder. But I just do a really natural kind of feathery brow. So there is brow powder on, and then I just run over it real quick with the Benefit Gimme Brow brow gel. I accidentally picked up the shade 5 instead of the shade 3. I must have just been like blind that day or something. So this one's a little darker and a little cooler than I normally go with it, but it works. It's not that different. And I mostly just use this to make sure all the hairs are brushed back in the right direction and that they're gonna just stay put where I want them. So that is brows done. I am super low maintenance with brows, mostly just because I can't be bothered to actually spend too much time on them. And now we're gonna jump into the eyeshadow palette. I might actually zoom you closer first, hang on. All right, so that's zoomed in just a little bit more, and we're gonna go in with the eyeshadows. So excited. And I'm not totally positive what I wanna do with this yet, except I know that I want to attempt a cut crease of sorts. I'm not going to do the funny stamp trick because I've decided that it's just not worth my time, but I am going to just keep on practicing and honing and trying to get good at it doing it freehand. So first I'm just taking a big fluffy brush and the shade Daisy and sweeping that all over my lid and up to the brow bone. I did put some concealer and translucent powder on earlier, but I just want to make sure that I've got a really smooth, even base to be working off of. And hopefully you can't hear too much coming from outside, but I've got the window open because otherwise it is boiling in this room. And especially with the studio lights and stuff like that. So hopefully you can't hear too much. Whew. This eye has been so watery lately. I do not know what is up with it, but it's very irritating when you want to wear eyeshadow and you just keep like crying it off. I think it's allergies, which I don't normally get in Britain. Normally that's like I'm just trying to like set the wet patch with eyeshadow so that it stops like being weird. Yeah, I don't normally get allergies in Britain, but I've felt like they've been coming up a lot lately this summer, so that's irritating, but oh well. Oh my god, literally, like, looks like I'm watching Titanic or something. Oh my god. Okay, this concealer I was testing out, can you see the difference between this eye and that eye? Because I just wiped that concealer away. Not cry proof. I forget exactly what this called, but it's from Lancome. I expect more from you, Lancome. You're expensive things. I didn't buy it, I just got like a sample from Sephora because one of the makeup artists there used it on me. But like, dude, if you're gonna come off when my eyes water, we're not gonna have a good working relationship. I think I've basically fixed that now. Moving on to the actual like fun part of this, we are going to go in with the shade, what do I want to start with? We're gonna go in with Bruh to start off with. I love the names of these, they're so funny. So it's like Bruh, like what? Very sassy. And I'm just gonna take this on a fluffy brush and put it in the crease, quite high in the crease, because we are gonna take the cut crease up above our natural crease. The neighbors are talking so loudly. They can probably hear me talking about them too. And this isn't showing up too well on camera, but you can see it in person. I think it's just my lights are washing it out a little bit. But this comes up as a really light peachy color. Oh, they're literally shouting outside. I might have to close the window. I'm gonna go in with Hangry right on top of that. It's that one just there. So it's a darker warm tone brown. And I'm just trying to build up that color really carefully on the inner part of the crease so that we have a base for that crease to cut against when we go in with the concealer. Normally I wouldn't go in so heavy-handed right in this area, but we're trying something different today. And then I'm gonna go in with, ooh, what do I want to do? Probably, we'll go in with chocolate, and it's like chocolate in like a New York accent, which even though I'm from New York, I do not have because I'm from upstate where we just sound like we're from Canada. And I'm just gonna focus that in the outer part of the crease, keeping it lower than those first two colors that we used. And putting this basically in the actual like fold in my eye, right in that area. Oh my god, and this eye is still crying. This is the most irritating thing. So, just doing chocolate on the other eye. All right, so those are all our like base crease shades. So we are going to attempt a cut crease now, very cautiously. I am very aware that I may mess this up horrifically. So we're gonna use our Tarte Shape Tape in Fair. Just brush some onto the back of my hand. And then I've got this little Morphe brush, and it just came in a set, so it doesn't have a number, but it's just a super tiny little detail brush. And I'm hoping, because it's quite flat and kind of narrow, that this will work. So just gonna get a bit of concealer on it. And pray and go for it. Alright, so far it's going okay-ish. Just trying to get it a bit more defined. Okay, one eye cut. We're gonna just roll with it. Okay, I'm excited. I think that kind of worked. So, crease is cut. This brush definitely helped me. It was a lot easier than most brushes I've used to try and do this. Okay, all right, I'm gonna stop messing with it. We need to just move on with our lives. So, we're going to start packing some shadow onto the lid, and I'm gonna start with, I think I want to go in with LA, which is this really pretty yellow gold. And I'm actually gonna start this on the lid and then bring it up to the cut crease because we want to be delicate. All right, this is going well, so I'm mostly just focusing that on the inner half of the cut crease there. We're just gonna do the other one. This eye is still watering ridiculously. This is not the day to be doing an eyeshadow tutorial, apparently. And you really want to like pack on these shadows. It's difficult when you're trying to get into that cut crease and really sweep along that line. But after you get that detail done, really just want to go and pack it on because you're going to get a much more pigmented look that way. Okay, this is literally running down my face. And then over LA, I'm going to take, ooh, what am I gonna take? I'm gonna take Palm Tree, which is this kind of greeny duochrome shade. And I'm gonna focus that more on this middle section. Again, really just kind of patting that on. These look really cool together. It's just a nice kind of gradient into a slightly darker shade. All right, and so on the outer corner then, I'm just gonna take a domed brush and chocolate, and we're just gonna pack that on and make that really an intense bit of pigment, and then really lightly flutter that into Palm Tree. And then we're gonna clean up the outer edge afterwards. And I'm just gonna kind of drag this out into a more winged out type shape. And I'm gonna go back with that blending brush and just make sure those outer edges get really blended. Go ahead and drag it down along the lower lash line because we're gonna do that in a minute anyhow. And when you're blending, just make sure you're staying away from the inner half of your eye where that cut crease is. You want this line to be blended, you want that one to stay really sharp and defined. So gonna just do that on the other eye. I know it looks a little crazy, but it will look a bit more normal when we get into liner and lashes and all that. So I'm just going in with Daisy on the side now and cleaning up that angle. And I'm gonna take a pencil brush and first go in with Hangry on the lower lash line. And then with a really sharp flat brush, we're gonna go into Chocolate and just push that into the lower lash line. Okay, and to finish off the eyeshadow, we're just gonna go on the inner corner with Zozo, which is this bright, lighter gold color. And then I wanna brighten that up just a touch, so we're gonna go over it with NYC, which is a white shadow that has a blue duochrome on it. And I am dragging that up just along the front edge of the cut crease to make sure that's a really defined line. And then blending it back along the lower lash line. All right, and so that is everything we're gonna do for the eyeshadow. I think that turned out really, really cool, actually. So I'm just gonna pop on some mascara and some lashes. I've been liking skipping eyeliner lately. I just feel like it kind of crowds my lid a bit too much. I have quite a little amount of lid space to begin with, and eyeliner just takes up more of it. So I'm just using the L'Oreal Paradise Laura Voluminous Lash Paradise. What is that actually called? is what that's actually called. It is in the UK now, and it's called the Lash Ecstatic Paradise or something like that. Ecstatic is definitely on the case somewhere, but it does look different to the American one. It's in different packaging. And just because I feel like being a bit extra today, I'm gonna put on some lashes. These are the Ardell Demi Wispies, and I'm just gonna put on some lash glue. And then while that dries, we'll do the rest of the face and then pop the lashes on. So while that lash glue dries, we're just gonna go in with the rest of the face makeup. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Gallery palette from the collab they did with the Basquiat artwork. And I'm gonna take X-Rated, which is the bronze shade, and bronze up the face. And I've not really been contouring lately just because I've been a bit too lazy, so we're skipping that today. I'm gonna pop on some blush. I'm gonna use the Plum one, which is NoHo, and just pop that on the apples of the cheeks. Ooh, that came out a bit more pigmented than I wanted it to be. Blend. Blend. These blushes are really, really pretty, but if you pick up too much pigment, it is difficult to get it off your face. Just heads up. So going in slightly lighter. Yeah, that's a bit better. I think the lash glue is probably pretty dry. So we're just going to pop those on real quick. All right, so lashes are on. I'm just gonna go in with a bit more mascara to kind of blend everything together. It does just, lashes just tie look together. Like, they're fiddly and they're irritating, but they just look really pretty. So we put up with it. Beauty is pain, beauty is pain. To finish, we're gonna go in with a highlight and just pop that on the tops of our cheekbones. And I've been trying to keep this more towards the back of my face, and then just kind of dragging it up around my forehead to get that kind of C shape, just because I've got quite a lot of texture going in around my nose right now, and we don't want to emphasize that. And all we've got left is lipstick, and I think I'm gonna go in with this Too Faced Melted Chocolate Liquefied Longwear lipstick. So it is a matte shade, but it doesn't dry matte. It's kind of just a lipstick, but in a tube instead of in a stick. Alrighty, so that is it. That is our finished look. I'm really happy with how this came out, actually. I really, really like this. And I'm glad I do, because I need to film some more videos after this. But this is the finished eye look. I think that Cut Crease actually came out really, really well. I'm really happy with this. And yeah, I've really been loving this NicolConcilio palette, and I would say, I don't know if the Cult Beauty website still has that sale up, but if it does, I would definitely take advantage of it. If not for this palette, then there are a lot of other really nice palettes in the sale. And then if this is just something you've been umming and ahhing about, I was, and I love it. I love it a lot, and I'm very, very glad I own this. And I know it is limited edition. It hasn't sold out or anything yet, but eventually it's not going to be available anymore. So if you want it, I would get it. And it is very much approved by me. It's just, I love looking at it. Like, it's just so pretty. I could literally do this all day and be so entertained. I'm literally 5 years old. oh well. But yes, yeah, I love it. So there's one last look at all the colors. They're just gorgeous. They're really, really nice. If you want a full, like, in-depth review on the palette with swatches and everything, then let me know in the comment section, and I would be more than happy to film that if I stop, like, forgetting to breathe and hiccuping in the middle of sentences. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. If you're not subscribed already, don't forget to hit that button below so that you are updated every time I upload. And if you want a notification specifically every time I upload, then hit the bell next to it as well. So that way you'll get sent an email when I upload a video. If not, just subscribe and I'll show up in your subscription box anytime you log on to YouTube, and you can watch all the videos. And if you want to watch any more of my videos, then check the description box below. I'll have my last one linked, and somewhere around here there's going to be a link to my channel, so you can go just click that and watch any other videos. So I do hope you subscribe. Would be great to have you in the family, and I hope you have a great rest of the day wherever you are. Bye everybody!